So, 15 races down, 3 to go. This is race number 16 of 18 this afternoon here. And it's OK and OK Junior. And I do have some breaking news that is going to really, be quite exciting. We've got two non-starters in the form of Jan Peter Freitas and Mads Ries, who I think will be concentrating on Senior Max this afternoon. But Maxime Fouhon-Castellan from Luxembourg is back in the saddle here on track after the collision between himself and Jules Castro earlier. But the grid is as follows. Ries Viveret is on pole position alongside Francis Thomas Imborg in the 2-2-3. Loris Cabihou and Yvon Mallet ran out row number 2. Franck Chapard and Alexander Tauscher ran out row number 3 ahead of Nicolas Picot, and Tom Uzan running out row 4. Matthias Salonen and Sandro Holsum ran out the top 10 ahead of Loris Delbar, who is in pole for OK Junior, ahead of Germany's Daniel Greger. Enzo Peugeot in 13th ahead of Jules Castro. Corby Powles, who unfortunately retired from the first one, now starts in 15th ahead of Juliano Holsum, who also retired, as did Oliver Golther and Lars van Vark, with Maxime Fouhon-Castellan 19th, but back in the thick of it on track. That's really good to see the young 11-year-old from Luxembourg back competing. So that was really, really good to see. So he's been medically cleared and checked over to race. So again, the red light is ignited on the starting gantry. 13 minutes plus 1 additional lap to go here. 2x2 rolling start formation will now be fully initiated. Drivers will have to get into position. The two at the front, Viveret on pole and Hamburg alongside, will have to control the pace. So they need to get into formation very quickly. Otherwise, it could be the third full start call today. Do we go this time? Yes, we do. They allowed that one. That was very close on the wire. So Viveret gets the whole shot, stays in the lead of this race. And everyone's getting nicely through. Well, no, one's gone spinning 180 degrees the wrong way. Off of turn number 4, was pushed wide. So I couldn't quite catch the number on the live stream there, but I'll find out momentarily who that was. So we are down to 18 OK and OK Junior drivers. So at the moment, Ries Viveret leading the way in the 2:35. And Loris Cabihou still remaining in second position. Leaders now crossing the start-finish line as Nicolas Picot gets a bit feisty with Franck Chapard for third position. And now Picot loses out to, I think that was probably Yvon Mallet in the process. Now drops down to 5th place. Could be ahead of Matthias Salonen from Finland, currently in 6th position. Alexander Tauscher looking to be in 7th place at the minute. Corby Powles, in the meantime, started 15th. Now up into 9th place is the young Belgian from Leopoldsburg. Done a great job in just the initial couple of laps. 12 minutes plus an additional 1 to go here in the OK and the OK Junior final race of the weekend. But we could have another impending retirement because there is someone very slow going towards turn number 6. Looks to be maybe an OK Junior driver, not too sure. Or could that be, well, could that be, I think that might be Sandro Holsum, who's just retired. The one that was spinning, nearly pirouetting around about 180 degrees the wrong way, going into turn 5. And that cart's beached on the grass. The driver that is circulating, I will try and just keep an eye on them. As we have now a change for the lead because Loris Cabihou has got in front of Ries Viveret from Belgium. Chapard will be looming large, I think, very shortly. That is the case. He's in 3rd position. Picot is behind Yvon Mallet in 5th position, with Mallet up to 4th now. Matthias Salonen and Alexander Tauscher complete the top 7, who are literally line astern. Behind them is Tom Uzan, followed by Corby Powles. And Lars van Vark is charging his way up to 10th position now. And I think Thomas Imborg is not taking any further part in this race. Must have parked it. So he was the one that was going slowly, having started initially at the front of the field on position 2. So Imborg's weekend comes to an abrupt halt as Gobby Pauwels is now having to fend off Holland's Lars van Vark for 9th position. And the 201 with TB Racing gets past the CV Performance Group driver, having gone through turn 6. Fastest lap of the race at the moment? Well, I just have 3 initials, LVV. Lars van Vark in the 201, doing a 52.984. That is 0.8 of a second quicker than the current leader, Loris Cabihu, as Evo Mallet gets deposed by Rhys Viverette for 3rd position. But Viverette drops further down the order, losing out to Mallet, Picot, Salonen, and Alexander Tauscher. So Viverette drops from pole now to 7th. Lars van Vark, in the meantime, as I said earlier, has got past Gobby Pauwels. And despite what happened earlier, there is a nice bit of clean air between Maxime Fouhan-Castellan, who is currently in 4th position in OK Junior, ahead by nearly 3/4 of a second from Jules Castro. Enzo Peugeot is leading the OK Junior class in 13th overall, ahead of Loris Delbar and Daniel Greger from Germany. Leaders now coming around the final corner to complete another lap, which will put us on to lap 6 here. 8 minutes 30 plus an additional 1 to go. As there's a change for the lead, and Frank Chapard hits the front. So it is a gaggle of VDK racing carts at the front of the field, being led by Frank Chapard, Loris Cabihu, Eva Mallet, and I think that might be Pico in 4th position. There could be another change if Cabihu has his way, but that's not going to happen. And the driver in 2nd position looks to be Evo Mallet in the 269, which is the case. And Matthias Salonen from Finland is up into 5th. Tom Mouzin is now closing on Rhys Viverette, who's currently in 7th position. Gobby Pauwels is now 0.9 of a second adrift, unfortunately. Oh, another change for position. The move for 3rd has happened, and Cabihu has lost out to Pico in the process. So great work by Nicolas Pico, who unfortunately got a penalty post-race, which was a 3-second one, if I remember correctly, last time out. But now the French driver up into 3rd position. We're now on to lap number 7. 7 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock to go. And there's been another change as Cabihu has lost out to Matthias Salonen. And right behind the French driver in the 257, there is Alexander Tauscher. There is Rhys Viverette in the 291. Can I spot Lars van Vark in there? I think I can. I think I definitely can. Where is Gobby Pauwels in all of this? He's behind Tom Mouzin, who's up into 9th place. Yes, the Lars van Vark is definitely getting up the order somewhat. So van Vark has got past Rhys Viverette. Now has Loris Cabihu in his crosshairs as they go through turn number 4. Meanwhile, Frank Chapard continues to lead by nearly 0.9 of a second ahead of Evan Mallet. Nicolas Picot makes it a French 1-2-3 at the minute in the 233 in 3rd position, followed by Matthias Salonen, Alexander Tauscher. Now it is Lars van Vark ahead of Loris Cabihu, who now has Rhys Viverette for close company in 7th and 8th respectively. Tom Mouzin and Gobby Pauwels round out the top 10. In the side of OK Junior, Enzo Peugeot continues to lead, but is only 1/4 of a second ahead of Daniel Greger from Germany, who's just taken care of Loris Delbar. But Maxime Fouhan-Castellan is quite a lot quicker at the moment. Was 1.1, well, his best time is faster than Loris Delbar. He took 1.1 seconds out of him, and is now 0.2 adrift. So Maxime Fouhan-Castellan has extended the gap between himself and Jules Castro, who might have got probably more than a stern telling off and a slap on the wrist after the altercation, but I'm not too sure of both sides of the story. I only see it from my perspective up here in the commentary box. Meanwhile, at the moment, Frank Chapard continues to lead and has extended the gap over countrymen Evo Mallet and Nicolas Picot to the tune of a combined 1.6 seconds. So it's 0.977 to Mallet from Chapard, and then a further 0.63 to Nicolas Picot. A further 0.6 adrift is the flying Finn in the form of Matthias Salonen in 4th place, as Loris Cabihol is behind Lars van Vark. Well, as is Alexander Tauscher. So now Lars van Vark charging through the field to 5th position. Still has plenty of time to make up more places, because when I tell you that he's only 2.765 seconds behind the current leader, Frank Chapard, there is a possibility. Probably a minute one, but there is still a mathematical possibility. And wouldn't that be good to see, that someone charges through the field to win it? I've seen that kind of thing happen before. I've seen people start as low as 12th to 15th positions, either in Europe or the UK, and they've come back fighting to the front, even in adverse conditions, but it's still dry and sunny. Current temperatures at the moment here at karting Genk, if I can just get it to refresh for a moment, 11 degrees Celsius. So the sun is out, no more rain to worry about. I nearly did a Jonathan Ross and replaced my R with a W there. Whoops. 3:47 on the clock to go. Lars van Vark is closing down on Matthias Salonen from Finland. The pair are about 0.4 of a second adrift. Might not even be that going through turn number 7. Gabby Hall, in the meantime, still in 7th. Olivier Goethe has got past Juliano Holzem for 10th place, as Tom Uzan, unfortunately, has now retired on lap number 9. So another Frenchman has a sudden and dramatic end, an early end, that means, for his weekend here at karting Genk. So Thomas Imburg and Sandro Holzem also retired. Jan-Peter Fritters and Mads Ries, who I think is concentrating on the Senior Max Top 36 final a little bit later on, has opted not to run in this race. The lead between Frank Chapard and Evo Mallet has now increased to 1.2 seconds. Fastest lap of the race no longer belongs to Lars van Vark, because Olivier Goethe has just put in a 52.719, as Van Vark is now behind the pairing of Matthias Salonen in 4th, and just up ahead is Nicolas Picot with the French tricolor on the top of his race helmet in 3rd position. The trio are covered by less than half a second, as Frank Chapard comes out to cross the start-finish line again. This is going to be lap number 13 here, with 2 minutes and 20 on the clock to go. And Chapard extends the gap over Mallet to... oh, there we go. Salonen has been passed by Lars van Vark, who now has in his crosshairs the French driver by the name of Nicolas Picot, as the trio come out of turn 6 and power down past road-going traffic, which nearly includes a Range Rover there, down the back straight into turn 7. So good hustling here and good prowess from Lars van Vark. This is really going to put a smile on his face as they go through turn 10. Nice move there from, looks like, was that Loris Cabihol on Alexander Tauscher there? Or could that have been Ries Viveret, as Frank Chapard again crosses the line? Gap between him and Mallet stays the same pretty much, 1.376 seconds, as Lars van Vark storms up the inside of Nicolas Picot, who responds in kind and retakes back 3rd position. So Van Vark knows that he's got the pace. Picot knows it as well. And on the back of this, Loris Cabihol is now coming back into the mix. This is a 4-way squabble over what is effectively the, 3rd position. And just behind is Ries Viveret, as Salonen goes defensive on Cabihol, going into turn number 9. Chapard, in the meantime, continuing with business as usual. 37 seconds on the clock, plus 1 additional lap to go in this last OK and OK Junior race at the moment. And the lead is being quite literally decided very shortly, because in terms of OK Junior, Enzo Peugeot is finding out that Maxime Fauron-Castellan is on a charge. 1.674 seconds between the two. But how much of a distance is there now between them? Still a bit of a gap there. So Fouhon Castellan keeping out of trouble ahead of Daniel Gregor, as Salonen is still trying to find a way past Lars van Vark. Ries Viveret, in the meantime, is still ahead of Alexander Tauscher with... now, let's just see what's happening here. Nice move up the inside on Alex Tauscher heading into turn number 10. As Loris Cabillou is behind the 213 from Germany. Final lap it is. Franck Chapard now coming through turn number 3. More squabbling behind, more bumping of bumpers. So at the moment, it's still Chapard, Mallet, Picot, Van Vark, Salonen, and Vivret, with Goethe, Cabillou, and Tauscher now down into 8th and 9th. And is Kobe Pauls with them? Yes, he is. He's on the back bumper of Alexander Tauscher. So could there be another 9th place finish here for Kobe Pauls this weekend? Let's see and find out very shortly. Meanwhile, Maxime Fouhon Castellan is 1.6 seconds behind Enzo Peugeot. So Peugeot is on course to take another OK Junior win. Checkered flag being prepared. Félicitations, Franck Chapard qui gagne ici à Belgique. So 234 wins. So Franck Chapard is victorious here at Karting Genk once again this weekend ahead of Evan Mallet. That's got to put a smile on the face of the VDK squad, who also have been racing in the FIA CIK Championship, and I'm sure they will do this year as well. But good to see the French with us here at the BNL Karting Series Aplomb. So top 3, all French drivers from VDK. Franck Chapard is the winner in the 234 ahead of Evan Mallet. Nicolas Picot makes it a hat-trick for France, completing the top 3. Well done to Lars van Vark, the fighting Dutchman, I'm going to call him here. Great thumbs up there to one of the VDK drivers. Finishing in 4th, having started a bit further down the order. Then it was Matthias Salonen, Ries Viveret, Olivier Goethe, Loris Cabillou, Alexander Tauscher, with Kobe Pauls running at the top 10. Juliano Holsum was the last of the classified OK senior finishers, with Enzo Peugeot rounding off the weekend in style. So 2 wins for France in both OK and OK Junior. Maxime Fouhon